So, what did I tell you? Here's the thing. I'm not subscribed to the book, and I'm thankful that Frank Hill sends me these trade paperbacks, these collections, these graphic novels of, issues that comprise of several arcs and everything. Even if it's in, multi-chapter, collections, if you will. So I'm very thankful that Frank Hill, does that for people like me, so we can keep up to speed with what's going on in IDW Sonic. However, I knew from the get-go that, Tangle and Whisper would be good. They would be all right. Especially when Whisper basically finds out that, maybe her negative attitude and letting the guy that betrayed her and her original Diamond Cutters team live rent-free in her head is not a healthy thing. It's not a healthy thing, period. And that basically she needs to move on from that. That if she's going to move on and grow and finally be the Whisper she used to be, like more open, less, I'm okay and all that, but more like, hey, it's okay, it's all good, and all that. Well, not exactly that, but you get the idea. More exuberant, if you will. That she has to let go of that past. And that her teammates that were, taken from her because of that betrayal would not want her to dwell on, what happened. Yes, they would want her to get her revenge, but technically she did, with an asterisk there, but they'd want her to move on and be happy. They'd want her to move on and make new friends and get on with her life. And here, I told you, Ian would not destroy them. He would not destroy that friendship because, one, they are SEGA characters, and pretty much he knows SEGA would have gotten on his behind for it. Period. Now, as far as the next issue goes, Evan Stanley's doing that one, but the consensus I get from both sides here is at least there's a little bit more communication note-wise between both Stanley and Flynn. So I can assume that things will still be all right. They will be. But I told you from the get-go nothing was going to happen, and it's Whisper basically seeing that, again, the negative influence she's been having, with her negative attitude and not wanting to really just, I guess you could say, be accepting and be more outgoing and all that than like she used to be with her original team. She's starting to realize it's having a negative effect, which is why we see Tangle always trying to be positive and exuberant with her and try to get her to open up. And when she doesn't, it has a negative effect. It's a negative backlash. And this pretty much was like the cutting point, if you will, the straw that broke the camel's back, that, basically made Whisper realize, all Tangle's trying to do is be happy. She's trying to be positive. She's trying to help me, and my negative attitude ain't helping. So, again, love the fact that they got her to realize, hey, I cannot let this SOB, that betrayed us, live in my head rent-free anymore. She's realizing, look, I got a bit of revenge on the guy. Yeah, I know he's probably out and about again, and I am going to encounter him. But when that day comes, I'm going to look him straight in the eye and say, you are not living in my head rent-free anymore. You can change into whatever member of our former team you want. You ain't going to win because that's in the past. And I've moved on. So I definitely see that with Whisper in the future. And this right here, with her admitting to the fact that maybe she shouldn't have been acting the way she has and been more of a friend, and that they wouldn't be in the situation they're in. And that maybe, Tangle wouldn't be as exuberant and as expressive, if you will, to get her to open up than she usually is, or something like that. But again, I told you nothing was going to happen. Now, when I was watching Mega Beatman's review, he did finally touch upon something that obviously, we've all pretty much known of. And it's all because of, again, Whisper, finally swallowing her pride and being like, yeah, I can't be acting like this towards you guys because you're trying to help me, and I'm not being a good friend for not allowing you to help me and all that. I'm not being a good friend and, opening up and saying, yeah, I'll give this a chance. I'll be more exuberant, stuff like that. Mega Beatman, when he was reviewing this, acknowledged the fact of what we've all known. And that is, it's obvious there is something more between Whisper and Tangle than just a friendship. And he even touched upon the fact that the writers and the artists at IDW Sonic know that too. The only holdback is SEGA. Now, I mentioned before that I think SEGA is going to be more open to romance than ever before. And if the rumor and theory and speculation, the RTS, if you will, as I call it, is, has any truth to it, if the rumor, theory, and speculation, the RTS, has any truth to it whatsoever, about Sonic finally getting a love interest, and potentially that love interest, game-wise, could be a potential Pink Hedgehog, or maybe curveball, shockingly, a certain chipmunk princess in the long run. If there's any resemblance of truth to that, then I don't think Sega's going to be holding too much more on not allowing romance to occur between the characters. Because considering letting Sonic have one, according to, the RTS, rumor, theory, speculation, if they are, in being more open and inclined to let that happen, then I would not be surprised if they allow that to happen with Tangle and Whisper down the line. Like, Sonic might be the starting point, and if it succeeds and it's accepted, then I think it's going to have a domino effect, and eventually we will see Tangle and Whisper finally officially become an item. That's my theory. Now, Ian Flynn and Evan Stanley might find a loophole and say, well, technically they appeared in the comic, first and foremost, so they're more comic book characters than anything else. So, with them bringing up that argument, saying, yeah, they kind of appear in the comic first than any other merchandise or games and all that afterwards. If they bring that up, that could be the loophole that says, yeah, because they technically debuted in the comics first, that gives us more of a advantage, more leeway to say, let's do it. Let's make it happen. But will it? We'll have to see. We will have to see and find out. But in my opinion, if the rumor, theory, speculation, RTS is, true in any way, shape, or form with Sonic, potentially getting a love interest, then I would not be surprised if they do try to push it forward. And not only make it happen, see how fans will react, but if it's a success, I would not be surprised, as I mentioned, that the domino effect of it, gets felt throughout the entire franchise, and other characters, like I said, like Tangle and Whisper, could potentially officially become an item. But we'll see. But basically, to follow up on what I said a month ago, I told you nothing was going to happen, and I was right. And again, this is coming from somebody that doesn't read, the comic on a monthly basis, but is thankful, if you will, to people like Frank Hill, It's Frank, for giving us graphic novel collections. Giving us as gifts and everything out of the kindness of the heart, graphic novel collections and everything to catch up on, And just to let people know, this is not a spoiler because this issue's been out for about a week or two now. So pretty much everybody has gotten a hold of this issue. They've read about it. They've heard people talk about it. So this is not a spoiler because it's pretty much been out for about a week or two now. But anyway, though, guys, give me your thoughts in general on, basically Whisper being the one to admit fault at this and acknowledging that now that instead of being more closed in, she has to be more open about, things and be more accepting. What are your thoughts on that? How do you like this character development for her and Whisper and even landline. Let me know your thoughts there. Comment below. Live chat during the premiere. Like the video. You will get a audio podcast version of this at BW Rosas Discussions. Also support me at patreon.com at BW Rosas with a $1, $3 tier. Also check me out at deviantart.com, says BVW1979. Also support me at VENMO at BW Rosas for content you can't get anywhere else here on YouTube. Also support me over at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 and Cash App at BW Rosas98. And also check out the Teespring store as well in the upper left-hand corner. Click there if you're watching on your computer to check out merchandise you can't get anywhere else. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are overall. I got to get ready for work in a bit. And until next time, I'm out.